This week's episode of the Insomniac Sadcast is brought to you by death. It's inevitable, and you can't run from it. This week's question comes from...
Shit! Sam almost fell.
I fucked up the podcast already. I almost died.
See what I mean? Death.
Holy shit, this chair's so fucked up. I'm going to the couch. Okay, go on.
Yeah, go to the couch. This week's question comes from Chris, who asks, what would Insomniac be doing if we were not a band and not in Seattle? Ben, go.
It's all of us in Minnesota.
So yeah, if Insomniac wasn't a band, what would us individually be doing?
I would be writing solo stuff and producing music for Prince, because I'm in Minnesota for some reason.
Yeah,
because that's it's Minnesota, and that's where that is, and the Twins and Fish and Loons and stuff.
That makes sense.
I think now are we going individually, or do I have to guess what everybody would be doing?
I mean, I was gonna say let's not do that because it'll just get horribly mean. Because I'll be really mean. Yeah. If I tell you guys what you'd be doing without Insomniac, it'll be mean.
As a group, we'd probably just be like going to shows.
I was gonna say we'd probably just be doing Sora Kajira until we drove it into the ground. So
I don't know how we would be if we were not a band.
Still be playing breakdowns and being very diehard.
Back that inevitable death.
Yep.
All right.
We'd be dead.
So Sam, what would you be doing if Insomniac was a thing? It was not a thing.
Not a thing. I would probably be working a shitty desk job. Maybe not the same one I had, but a shitty desk job nonetheless. Probably own a house. Really just kind of work at adulting, and it would probably suck. I would probably hate it.
So wait, you would have your life together.
Yeah, but I wouldn't like it.
You wouldn't be unemployed sitting in an apartment playing Counter-Strike all day.
Damn right.
No. I mean,
that's the life.
That's true. Sam, how long have you been playing Counter-Strike?
Today or
I think since he quit his job.
You quit your job. Like how long has it been since you quit your job?
Like 150 hours.
That's not much.
I was gonna say, when did you quit your job, Sam?
I don't know, a couple weeks ago.
So like continuously from then until now.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Counter-Strike. It's fun, dude.
He's playing. In his mind.
I'm actually thinking about playing. I played a game just before I was like, oh, we're not doing the podcast yet. I'm going to go play a game. And then it came out. I was like, oh, we're not doing it yet. I'm going to go play another game. And now we're doing the podcast. And I'm thinking, I'm going to go play another game. Fuck the podcast.
So if I had just a bunch of money and no work to do, how awesome would that be?
I wish I had a bunch of money.
Well, you did when you started, right?
I did. But, but now James just hates me.
But he paid you more money, and I'm going to pay you money when come next week.
That's true.
I have some of it now, but I just like holding on to it.
Speaking of James, what would you be doing if you were not in Seattle and Insomniac wasn't a thing?
I mean, like I said, Sora Kajira. I would just focus on whatever band I'm in at that point because that's all I seem to give a shit about in life.
That's fair.
Like, Sora Kajira broke up. Next band.
You'd probably be in DTS or some shit like that.
I probably would.
Yeah, more or less. I would probably...
People wouldn't own me and they wouldn't know what I've been through.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know you at all. Who the fuck are you? Get out of my house. I would probably be... I don't know what I'd be doing if I was not in Insomniac. I mean, obviously, I would still be in... I would still be in Sora Kajira, obviously, but besides that, I would probably... I'd probably either still be working at Hot Topic and just hating everything like usual, or I would have just taken over the brick house and
be the sole employee. Yeah,
I would have overthrown the brick house. I would have dethroned my parents and just took over the entire business. Shout out mom and dad, coming for you. And on that note, actually, before I get to the intro, there's one more thought I had. Do you think that this means that there's an alternate universe somewhere where all of us are sitting around doing a podcast, maybe as Sora Kajira or something, and we got the question, what if we were in a different band living in Seattle?
That'd be an interesting question.
Why would that ever happen? That
Think about this.
Dumb.
Think about this. Sam, We Are the Blog, they broke up.
Sure.
You'd probably be in fucking Breacher.
Yeah, I'd be in Empty My Lungs.
Yeah, you'd be in one of the two.
Hell yeah.
I'd be smoking hella pot and Empty My Lungs. Instead, I'm just smoking hella pot and Insomniac.
Ben's sober.
Ben just sober
together
all the time.
I guess. And on that note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this special Thursday morning edition of the Sadcast Seattle. Introductions. Ben Drake.
It's me. I'm over here talking into this microphone. Ah.
James Dotzler.
Fuck you.
Sam Fassler.
Hello.
And I'm who gives a fuck?
Nobody cares about us at all.
Nobody cares. This
We're
is episode
lonely.
what? 16?
69.
69.
I'm really excited for this episode though because we have really good topics to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really excited for them.
Okay. First order of business. I just want to get this out of the way. A
Yeah.
little bit of housekeeping. The Insomniac furniture update.
Right. Very important.
Last week we got that chair, or the week before, and this week
Oh man.
we kicked out that old terrible love seat that was apparently from IKEA. We discovered and replaced it
course.
with a, in air quotes, brand new couch, like
Yeah.
full size couch with cushions and throw pillows.
It was almost fate. Ben and I, we were driving to McDonald's the other day, and we took a corner around by a daycare center, and we just saw a couch just sitting on
Right.
on the side of the road, just on the curb there. And we thought like, hey, that's a nice looking couch.
Well, either it's a free couch or somebody decided to go, traffic watch and forgot to take it back in.
either or
One
really.
of those. I mean, me and James did that once.
I mean, it's ours, so who cares?
Yeah, so we found a sign that said free on it, and we tried fitting it
Crumpled up in
my-
the cushions.
Yeah, it was crumpled up in the cushions. Like I think someone found it was just like this ain't free.
So we just kind of stopped in the street and
Yeah, it was really awkward. I kind of pulled over on the corner, threw my hazards on, and then tried my best to fit it into my Dodge Journey.
It didn't.
Yeah, mind you, it did not fit.
Even when we scooted the seats all the way forward so you could barely work the pedals at all, it was still sticking out the back a little. So we just sort of drove back.
Yeah,
with
we drove
it.
back with the hatch open and this couch just kind of hanging out.
And
Ben
we had
was
gotten it down. It was staying down. But when we got to the apartment, it was not down.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Ben was driving, and I was just kind of I had my body just kind of over behind the seat, just kind of holding onto the couch, making sure it didn't
Right.
fall out.
Seattle's kind of a hilly area, in case anybody
Yeah.
doesn't know that.
Fortunately, we were just right down the street and everything.
Yeah,
And
it wasn't too far, but
what I think is just amazing is just how good of condition this couch is in. According to the person who was giving it away actually came out and saw us putting it in the car. And according to her, they put out the couch that day, and it just happened to be one of the few days where it hadn't rained in Seattle, so there was
Right.
no water damage or
didn't
anything on
get
it.
wet.
It didn't even smell bad. It just kind of smelled like cigarettes.
And some Febreze took care of that mostly.
Mostly, yeah. And then James came along and made it smell like more cigarettes.
Cigars, asshole.
Sorry.
Cigarillos.
I'm fancy, dude.
Do you call them cigars? Can they be called a cigar if they're $1?
Yeah.
Well, see, it depends on the brand you buy. If you buy acid, those are technically small cigars.
Did you acid? Dude, that's
Whoa.
fucking radical.
Fucking cigars are a gateway drug to acid. We were standing outside the bus stop the other day, and this guy came up and asked us for a cigarette. And I was like, "Oh, James quit," which I don't even know if that's not true, is it?
No.
I didn't think so. I just lied to the guy. I was like, "Yeah, James quit, and I don't smoke. Sorry, dude." He's like, "Oh, it's okay." And then he just lit up a cigarette in front of us. I'm like,
Yeah, he walked away as if we didn't see him and opened up this little Altoid.
He just wanted some extra.
apparently.
Yeah. And then we're like, "Yeah, we're going downtown. What you up to?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to the junction. I'm gonna go bum for cigarettes." I'm like, "Okay, dude."
And then he
So
fucking
he
starts,
just hey, you got a cigarette? Takes it, puts it in his container, walks away.
Probably.
he goes on to get on the bus, and he just carried on for that whole trip until he got to the junction about how I had a master's degree and I'm from Minnesota, and then 5 minutes later, born and raised in Seattle, man. And then he keeps carrying on about how he's got a law firm and he does taxes, and he points at his office, and I'm like, you don't have any money.
That was really awkward. This guy's I don't know if he was homeless exactly, but not in great living conditions, obviously. And he's like, "Oh, when we drive by it, I'll show you guys my office." And James thought he was joking or something, so he laughed in the guy's face. The guy didn't really notice, but
He was really drunk.
yeah, he's just like, "Oh, I'll show you my office." James is like, "Psh," and I'm like,
Could it be
"James?"
possible that this guy
Now I just want to imagine that a hobo just every day walks up into his legal office and sits down, and his clients come in and ask him for legal advice.
my
They come
theory
in-
is that this guy is a lawyer and has his own legal office. He just really fucking knows how to party. and you saw him in the aftermath of some gnarly shit.
he's dressing like that, just homeless, ratty as fuck in his office. And someone comes in and is like, all right, here's my W-2s. I'd like to start doing my taxes. Like, oh, but first, do you have a cigarette?
Wait,
Cigar, I'll
people
do
take
taxes for you, but give me one cigarette.
do people take their taxes to lawyers?
No. I don't know what that was from, but I mean, he tried.
But no, like this guy was like, I do tax firm and lawyer, and he's just all over the
He's all over
fucking
the
board.
place, you know. He's a jack of all
I
trades.
mean, this guy was
He
from,
could just be like Sam.
but like this guy was
That's what's
seriously
the name, ugly?
from Minnesota and Seattle, according to him.
Minnesota
well,
and Seattle at the same time, just like us.
Apart from being ugly,
Okay.
you have been known to every once in a while meet a new person and just make up everything about yourself and tell that to them.
How about when you quit your job?
I do that?
You have.
What did you do that?
I don't remember that.
No. When you quit your job, what job were you going to go?
Oh, yeah. That was fun. Yeah, when I quit my job, I lied to everybody because I felt bad about just quitting because they were like so excited to have me there because they're like, you're like the best employee we've had forever at this fucking place.
Yeah.
I'm just like, great. I'm quitting like super soon. I was just like, oh, I got a new job. And then like the lie really snowballed and I had to keep making up details and remembering the details to each person I talked to.
Yeah.
And now I'm taking care of a 4-year-old child with autism who lives in this apartment building and they get like a government like subsidy or something like that to have somebody come in and take care of their child, and that's going to be me. And
I see.
And he likes video games and shit like that. And
Is that actually what you told them?
Yes.
Through the week or so that everybody knew I was quitting, yeah, the lie built up. I was like, I'm quitting. They're like, oh, where are you going to work? And I'm just like, right in my apartment building. They're like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, caring for a young child who has autism.
He couldn't say anything, just like, oh yeah, I'm going to go be a cook at a fucking grill
Or
somewhere.
a security guard in Seattle.
But the worst part was that these people like thought I was being so nice. They're like, that is such a service. And they're like, you know what? I remember one guy was just like drilling into me. He's like, you're going to feel so good about this. It's going to make you feel so amazing. I'm just like, yep, it sure is.
That's
it's like
something that it's going to do.
All
right.
It's going to be rewarding. I'm like, I hope so.
So 2 things. One, I think that proves my point. Second, what are you going to do when you get back to Minnesota and possibly run into them around Malacca?
They are going to be in Seattle still.
Oh,
So
they are going to be in Seattle?
It was his last job. Securitas?
Oh, it's Securitas. I thought you meant
The government? No.
Yeah, I thought you meant your government job in Malacca.
I like how we completely
Everybody,
forget.
yeah, I think, no, that was Sam's bad on the storytelling part because everybody thought you were talking about
James.
Malacca.
Except for me, because I heard the story.
I don't know why
I'm
you
the
guys
best.
would assume that. They obviously have a going away party.
Right.
Have fun in Seattle, taking care of a kid with autism.
Here's a bunch of Debbie cakes for you and the autistic
I thought
kid.
the story was weird, but okay. I have an idea. We should let's not make a liar of Sam. Calling out to any children with disabilities from the Seattle area who may be listening to this.
Preferably in this building.
This apartment building.
We're calling out. You can for free come on down to our apartment and just hang with us for the day.
Sam will play Counter-Strike with you.
I sure as well.
Sam
you
will
watch.
play counter.
I'm gonna
You can
hit
definitely
your
watch.
hands if you touch anything on my computer.
I mean, at the very least, Ben and I have experience in working with children with disabilities, so I can imagine it would be that horrible.
True.
I mean, here's the thing. This apartment building has really thin walls. So I think if I just ask really loudly, like, does anybody have autism? Maybe someone will just come in.
The door's open, guys.
And give you their government subsidized money to
Yeah.
look after the kid. All right.
Please.
I mean, honestly, working with children with disabilities is really easy as long as you just know what they like.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Just
just don't
figure-
break their fucking schedule.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Just, just figure out what they're into and just like, all right, let's do some of that.
Let's play Rocket League for 20 minutes, then get bored of it.
No, because the reason I say that is I have a lot of friends who have disability.
Me?
Brothers.
Is it
I mean, you two are examples.
Yeah.
But there's specifically a guy I knew in Crosby, and the bus came at 8 o'clock every day,
Yeah.
and Eric would leave the house at 8:03, get into the car at 8:05.
Okay.
The bus was late. That motherfucker freaked out. He was like fucking throwing shit, breaking shit. He was just losing his fucking mind.
Hit him. What I do.
So
Oh, man.
never fuck around, man.
Yeah,
You make sure
sounds
that
about right.
schedule stays consistent.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing I'm not actually watching a kid with autism because I'd probably just like hit him.
Yeah, you'd be the worst.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah, I don't know if you have enough
terrible.
patience.
If you don't hit a kid with autism and you hit a regular kid, you're just being fucking biased. You're being discriminatory. Like, I hit all kids equally, no
That's good.
matter their skin color, their whatever.
Like any kid or just the ones you get paid to?
I like to get paid for it, but if I feel so inclined, I will hit any
Please
child.
pay me to beat your kid.
Do you think that's a service that exists?
They should be.
Sam's
like, you're not
Disciplinary
gonna go to jail.
Services. There's a nice ring to it.
you were like-
Sam's Disciplinary Services.
Like,
Tim
it's basically
Lambesis.
you write up a contract. You write up a contract that just says you're paying me so that I can beat the fuck out of your kid. You can't sue me. Done.
Yeah, that's a
I
thing.
feel like that. Like no one's going to approve that business proposition.
I'm pretty sure the lawyer we met on the bus.
Yeah, that guy would do it.
Get him in on it.
He's just like, this is a great idea. I'm
Here's
gonna
what
help you get
we're
a
gonna
loan.
wait by the bus until we see him, until we inevitably see him again, and we'll offer him one cigarette to come on the show,
To be fair,
and we'll talk lawyer shit with him.
this guy, like, you judging by his breath, all I would have to do is give him a Four Loko and he would do anything we want.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe that should be the service. Maybe we should take money from the people. We buy a Four Loko and have this guy beat the children. And we're just the middle guy who makes like a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, we're just the
All
middle
right.
guy, and he gets Four Loko.
We pay him like a percentage of what we make
Which is just a Four
for
Loko.
arrangement.
Hey man,
guy
on the
basically
deep web,
doesn't
anything's
exist.
possible.
Like, if parents give us $100, we'll buy this guy Four Loko and he'll beat your kid.
See, it's like the angry stepdad they never had.
Right, exactly.
Did you know that? Did you know that in some schools in the South, you can still have the teachers beat your kids if you sign a permission slip?
I mean, that'd be fucking awesome.
I would love that.
For
Yeah.
sure be
I'm
all
down
about
for
that.
shit.
Well, because like kids in school are never afraid of anything because the teachers can't do nothing.
Mr. Gaffney.
Mr. Gaffney.
I fucking loved that because Mr. Gaffney, Mr. Sharp, and Mr. Tall Science.
Call science.
Oh, what the fuck is his
Oh, I
name?
love Mr. Tall.
Oh, yeah, he was the English teacher, right?
I'm the only one who would remember it. I never had him.
Anyway, those three teachers were the most terrifying motherfuckers. And they I remember Mr. Sharp, a kid got in an argument about Chevy and Ford. This kid was getting pissed because someone thought that Fords were better than Chevys.
And this was
In
where?
history, Mr.
In
Sharp.
history?
Yep,
Should they
in the
not have
middle
been?
of class.
Should they not have been
And-
paying attention?
No, Mr. Sharp's like, Andrew, stop. Andrew, stop. And then finally he throws his fucking book at him and says, Andrew, for the love of God, if you do not stop, I'm going to pick up that book and beat the shit out of you with it. It was amazing.
Did he stop?
He shut the fuck up and
He
sat
was
down.
only mad because the teacher actually thought that Chevys were the best. So he's just like, oh, you're so fucking wrong.
I feel
Shit,
like
kid.
some people listening to that being like, why would they get into such an argument about Ford and Chevy? But all the
Small
schools
towns.
we came from, that's a pretty normal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
like
I was the best middle ground. If anyone asked me, I'd just say Toyota.
I drove a Pontiac. Fuck you all.
I didn't even own a Toyota. I didn't own a car in high school. But anyone was like, dude, Ford or Chevy? I'd be like, Toyota. Jeff's
I
got
had a
best.
Dodge
what was your
truck.
first car? What was your first car?
That Bonneville. Technically,
That
I
was
had an
it?
Oldsmobile, but it broke before I could even get in it.
That's true.
Sounds like a James
We had
car.
a lot of good memories in that Bonneville.
That Bonneville rocked.
It was.
The guy who bought it from me is still driving it. I'm pissed about it.
Yeah. Well, you know,
I
it
want
happens.
that car.
You want to go get it back?
I'll trade him the van.
It breaks the moment you get it.
Oh, it would too. I'd get in it and it would just every
would
fucking
actually
bolt
fall
would fly
apart.
out of that thing.
All the ones your dad put in to bolt the pieces of metal to the broken parts. Gone.
Dude, I missed my first vehicle. It was that big old Dodge truck. Oh, it was
I don't remember that one, but I do
You
remember
never
your
saw
tiny
it.
Dodge Neon.
That Dodge Neon was my second vehicle, but that Dodge truck, fucking powerful, manly, and
Like,
clean.
Did your dick get bigger every time you got in it?
People
And
thought it didn't, but it did.
Half chub or full chub?
Full chub most of the time.
Full chub?
I mean,
Oh my.
This truck was owned by Dante Culpepper, then my mom, then me.
Whoa.
My mom sold it to me for really hella cheap.
That's
then I
pretty
sold
cool.
it back to her for hella cheap. But it was fucking tight, and it was like fucking 13 miles a gallon, and I fucking it was great.
13 gallons to the mile. It just dripped out the exhaust pipe.
what's
13
weird?
gallons
to
of
the-
American Madness.
Gallons to the mile. Holy shit. Hey, I'm gonna go a couple miles down. It's like we're gonna need at least 26 gallons of gas.
You'd have to fill up like
Go to
every
school.
mile.
Yeah.
As soon as you step on the gas pedal, you can just like watch money fly out of your wallet. Like, holy shit.
You put on the
like
gas pedal,
spins.
and it's just like shooting gas out the back as propulsion.
I know gas is pretty cheap now, but this was back in the day when gas was like $4 a gallon. So
That fucking sucked.
That was awful.
I was paying for premium gas at that point because my Bonneville ran on premium.
ooh,
Holy fucking shit.
How the fuck would it run on premium?
I don't,
it was supercharged, right?
Why?
Yep.
Why do we have so many people in Minnesota that are obsessed with trucks when everything is so spread out and far away from each other?
Because it's,
Like we
it's-
save so much
Promoting.
money.
Yeah, dude. Trucks
and-
are in Minnesota are pretty good. I mean, if you're in the
Firms.
city-
Now that would be a good YouTube video. Mudding with a Prius.
See, like,
I'd do
if
it.
you're my dad and I, my dad actually used his truck for what most people are supposed to use them for.
Hauling
we would-
things?
We would haul wood and scrap
Children?
metal a lot.
picking up Mexicans at the border and having them
It's
fix
a
your
really
porch.
great thing trucks are for, carrying a lot of stuff.
Especially Mexican children.
And if you get cover, you can probably tour in it.
My dad actually had a tonneau cover on it, so it was pretty awesome when we would go get wood from like a million miles away and just cover that shit up.
That sounds fun.
Sorry,
Small towns.
my perception of fun is much different. I
I don't know.
love.
There's some.
I mean, taking wood and putting it in a truck is one thing, but covering that shit up,
Didn't you ever have
icing on the
like
cake.
small tasks that were kind of work but also fun? Like me and my dad would go over to the church and like photocopy all the bulletins, and the machine would like make the noises and the light, and a ton of paper would come
See,
out.
like for me,
fun.
hauling wood was actually. Have you ever stacked 10? I remember what the fucking term is.
exactly that number.
Logs.
Well, 10
Two by
stacks of wood. I don't remember
Bundles?
the actual. Not a bundle. It's
Like a smaller like bundle of.
no. I'm
A
talking like,
fag? Is it a fag? A bundle of sticks? Is this what we're talking about?
anyway. There was points where I had to dig the fucking logs out of the snow to go like stack them because my dad would chop them up and they would be in the snow. In the wintertime it sucked. In the summertime it was fun.
Yeah. Chopping wood's fun too.
Well, if you went to Foley High School, the reason that you had a truck was to distract away from the amazingly small size of your dick.
Right.
I don't know how it was for yours.
Which
schools, but
must be
that's-
something in the water in Foley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
Malacca, 15 whole miles away, if you had a truck like I did,
Right.
you obviously had a huge
Because you were in Malacca.
because I have a huge wiener, ladies and gents. I don't even care. Everybody needs to know.
But at your high school was.
In my high school, if you drove a truck, you had the smallest dick, and you were very insecure about it.
There was a literal like competition in our school of who could get the most lifted truck. And at my graduation, these kids drove up with their fucking they were absurdly lifted trucks. And then one kid just topped fucking everybody. He literally drove his dad's semi truck on the last day of school.
What the
to
fuck?
school. He just rolled up and was like, "Sup, bitches?" I'm like, oh
Revving
my
the
god, I
engine.
can't.
See, this is what will happen if you vote for Donald Trump.
Are semi trucks automatic or manual usually?
Typically manual, I think.
'Cause I want to
'Cause there's a lot of
imagine
shit
that
going on in
they
it.
just revved the engine and blew everybody away.
Like,
that
do you
was
mean like
Tra-
literally like everyone just like was knocked back?
That
By
was
the
Travis
power?
and I. Travis, his dad let him borrow his El Camino for the day.
Yeah.
And we floored it. I was sitting in the bed. We got 20 feet and got pulled over.
That's great.
You know, with every time Travis and I get in a vehicle together, we're going to get pulled over.
That's probably that's probably not a good idea.
What kind of Florida did you do that you only made it 20 feet?
We burnt out, squealed the tires. It was
and then you just
basically
stopped?
that was it. It was cool though for a couple seconds.
I still haven't done that really
I
by
don't have-
myself. Like my uncle took me out in his convertible on the Indiana back roads. And we went like 120. That was awesome. But I've never got to drive a car that fast.
See, the closest I've gotten was my Bonneville. I can't tell you how many times I would just fucking pound that thing to the floor. If no one was in my car,
Right.
I would just that motherfucker. Because
It's like you haven't seen anybody on this road for weeks, and you're just like, why not?
I like how that's a statement we can make because we're from tiny towns. Like, so
Yeah.
nobody's driven on this road in weeks. Fuck it, I'm gonna go $120 on here.
People from
And-
Seattle are just what? I don't understand.
Ryan's like, I don't get this concept.
There's like no safe places around here to do that.
No, you
None.
won't run into.
There's not even roads long enough.
Dude,
Try-
Kent? Fucking, there's so much street racing in Kent, it's insane. Like,
Maybe that's where all the long roads are. And
Fast
they're
and
like,
Furious?
well, no, you can't do it in Seattle.
there are signs that are like, no street racing here. No, like, it's allowed on some roads apparently, or just they
Is?
don't care. because it's
Well-
unused roads. But
I guess. I mean, I feel like there's nothing wrong with street racing as long as you're all being careful.
Tokyo Drift.
Whatever.
I don't
dude.
think that counts as
You were just
careful.
talking about my shit driving earlier.
Yeah, on freaking public roads.
You know what? Let's
Just
go
blowing
drifting and see
through red
Kia
lights.
right now.
I'm basically street racing by myself at that point
Right.
in a Kia Soul.
In a Kia
And I
Soul.
can't lose because I'm by myself.
We should have a drag race between your Kia Soul and my Dodge Neon and see what happens.
I think I know what would happen. Your car would just your tire would fall off or something.
Hey, the tires are new and the brakes are new.
Yeah, but the noise that it's making is new too.
I'll get that fixed first.
Oh, okay. then we'll race.
Yeah, Sam, when you drove to school in your truck or whatever,
Yeah.
Did you ever do that thing where like early in the morning you drive to school and you would just blast absurdly heavy metal
Oh,
on
yeah.
your way to school and you were the coolest fucking person ever, right?
Yeah, people. I'm pretty sure. I didn't really look because I wanted to look ahead and wear sunglasses.
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure people were looking at me going, "Who's that guy?" Even though it's
Right.
a really small school and everybody knows who I am, they're like, oh, "Who's that handsome motherfucker?" And then I pop out, and then my spurs make noise when they hit the fucking pavement. And then I just fucking take my sunglasses, even though I'm still outside and it's really bright. Take my sunglasses off, and I look at the nearest chick, and I go, "Sup, bitch, jump
While
in."
you're wearing your Daisy Dukes and the
Yeah.
tied up.
Wait, so
Flannel.
then she gets in your car and you go to school?
Yeah, and she just sits in my car, and then just
all day.
Usually I don't crack the window, so she dies.
Do humans do that?
Yeah.
Die? Yeah.
Typically.
Death is the sponsor of this show.
Remember at the beginning?
Come on, man.
Good full circle, though.
I mean, like,
that was a good
I don't
full
know.
circle.
I feel like a dog might die, but a full-grown human would probably like break a window before they die.
No.
Because she wouldn't want to break the window because it's so,
Right.
it's a truck, man. It's so cool.
Okay, this is going to be a stupid chain of words, but my mom had a coworker who had a friend who had a neighbor who
Only in small towns.
who left her baby in the car when it was hot, and she went home and she left the baby in the car, and she went inside for a few hours, and she's like, "Oh no!" And then she came back and her baby was dead.
I like how you laugh at the end of that story.
Like, who just forgets a baby in the car?
Like
So dumb.
Who does forget a baby?
yeah, that is a good question. How do you forget a
Like,
baby?
what is she doing inside the house? That she's like cooking. She's like,
she just had to fap really bad, and she just like rubbing one out for that long.
I forgot to DVR Gilmore Girls. No.
Rubbing one out two Gilmore Girls.
No. Rory can't get into Harvard. Oh no. Fuck
Is
this
that the
baby.
entire conflict?
the
like
entire
the whole
time.
show?
Even
much.
after she goes to fucking Yale and stuff, it
Yeah.
just continues. Like, remember when he couldn't get into Harvard?
It's like I just want to get into
James'
Harvard.
alarm is going off. Why?
Fuck, is that
He has to take his pills. Oh, I forgot to take my pills since we came back from California. They were in my backpack. I'm like, I'm forgetting something. I'm like, oh shit. I was like, I'm feeling sad, and I think that's why I had really weird nightmares the last couple nights.
Is that why you have nightmares and are intentionally running red lights just in hopes of dying?
I think I want to die. Oops.
Shout out to our sponsor,
Antidepressants. I mean, death.
Death. I mean,
That's what I meant.
shout out
Curiosity
to
Cola?
yeah.
Curiosity Cola is really good though.
Curiosity Cola is really good.
Pretty good.
I had it. We got it. It's like a gourmet soda. We had it at the warehouse in Wisconsin, and I found some at a Safeway nearby here.
If you're straight edge, go to your local like Whole Foods or organic co-op and just go through the soda section and get Curiosity Cola.
If you want to
straight
be
edge.
as snobby as beer snobs are about beer, but remain straight edge, there is plenty of gourmet soda.
Dude, it's
There
so
is.
good.
I can vouch for that.
Straight
So we should probably wrap up. We're just about hitting the half-hour mark.
Yeah, I like how I'm the only one not facing the clock.
Yeah, but I do want to, before we sign out, guys, this might
Ready.
be hard to handle, but we have a show.
Oh yeah.
What?
Insomniac the band is actually playing a fucking show this Friday, tomorrow.
Holy shit.
So by the time anybody hears this, there's no way they're going to make it to Seattle to watch us. Like,
Unless-
even if they left right now, if we were doing this live,
Well, I mean, depends on how much you want to pay for airfare.
I mean,
Okay, if you have us up by
totally
noon, doors open when? It doesn't say.
Probably
mama
7.
Oh, doors open at 8.
8.
They have late
Good.
shows always.
So yeah, they
Yeah.
can. Yeah, they have.
And we've been there,
anyone
Jay.
listening to this, if you want to drive from Minnesota to come check out our show, here are the deets. Tomorrow at the Charleston in Bremerton, Washington.
Shouts out MXPX.
We will definitely, like, there's a screen in the back that you can project images onto, and we're going to be playing reels of Two Girls, One Cup the whole time we play.
Dude, I'd be so down for that. Have you guys all seen it?
No.
Unfortunately.
We could when we.
Well, that's what we're doing after this.
Somebody linked me to it. I opened it and I'm like, I see where this is going. Click.
He's like, no.
Why? That didn't pique your curiosity, or like
There are some
yes?
there are some people who are so curious about things on the internet and then later they regret it. And I know that I would, so I choose not to do it.
See, I've watched it a few times. Like, it's the most amazing thing seeing like a close up of a butthole when poop is coming out of it. Like, I've never seen that before.
Like, okay, scientifically that seems like interesting.
Yeah, that's why I watched it for science reasons. Then I rewatched it for other reasons.
You know, the whole eating the poop and throwing up on each other part really kills the science factor.
Yeah, was that also for science or?
Yeah, I did not make it that far.
Like watching the poop like go between like her teeth and her tongue, like she squishes it with her tongue. That is like the fucking gnarliest thing, dude.
So, anyways,
Metal?
this show we have.
Yeah,
This show we're doing.
It's about 2 Girls, 1 Cup. We wrote a whole album about it.
Yeah, that's actually what our album is about that we're working on. So yeah, it's tomorrow at the Charleston in Bremerton, Washington. It's headlining is Marrowstone. I hope I'm
Yay.
pronouncing that right. And then Glacier Veins.
Hell yeah.
Animal Dog. Insomniac.
hell yeah.
And then Zero Hero is playing. It's all ages, but there is a 21 plus bar area, which is pretty cool.
You
And
can buy Rainier there.
you can buy Rainier there. It's doors open at 8 p.m. and it's only $6.
What a fucking deal!
What a fucking deal.
Let's
We're gonna
go.
I'm going to get really drunk before our set. So
hey,
play
question. Have we announced any of our dates for Minnesota / album release?
and we're not doing.
No,
that.
we're not going to.
All right.
I think we've already had this discussion on the podcast. Like, nope, we're not talking about that.
I was going to mention the funny coincidence, but I shall refrain.
Oh, it's not that funny. I mean, you're dumb and I hate you.
Yeah, it's really not.
All I'm saying is
I dare you to say it, Ben.
we picked first.
That's true.
We picked
Fucking-
our
well, maybe
stuff first.
we don't really know.
We
but
don't know for sure.
They announced it before us, so maybe they picked first.
Maybe.
Maybe they did. Who knows? And
But
no
hey,
one
nice
listening
guys finished last.
is gonna get this at all. So
Right. Whatever.
So yeah.
See you next week, I guess.
Anyways, yeah. Go to that show and whatever.